All right, well, welcome to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, where we have an across-state rivalry with Central Florida taking on Miami Hurricanes, a rivalry I am quite familiar with and a team I am very familiar with. A great quarterback, Tommy Sullivan, leading the Hurricanes as when I was Miami's coach, I found him in a small little city in Louisiana. And what impressed me the most was his vision. As he currently sits with an 87 vision, which is kind of unheard of nowadays. In 3 games, Tommy has 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. For Golden Knights, their quarterback, Brandon Baston, he has 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But really, the Knights are a run-heavy team, which is led by running back Cade Laird with 247 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. The feel for this game is unmatched as we head to the coin flip, and UCF calls tails, and it is tails. As UCF elects to kick the ball, and Miami will come out to receive the kick. And Danny Tyler kicks the ball off to the 8-yard line, and Mike Jones is able to grab the ball for a 21-yard gain for first and 10 on Miami's 29. And Tommy Sullivan hands the ball to Matt Wilhelm, and Matt is able to rush for a 9-yard gain, second and 1 on Miami's 38. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he's looking for Darian Leonard, and he throws it in his falls incomplete. It is third and 1 on Miami's 38. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and it is uh, a running back screen to Matt Wilhelm for a 5-yard gain, first and 10 on Miami's 43. And as they line up, and flags are thrown instantly, as is a false start on Dante Fuller. And they back it up for 5 yards, first and 15 on Miami's 38. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Wilhelm, and he's able to rush up the middle for 8 yards. It is second and 7 on Miami's 46. Tommy Sullivan, he drops back the pass as he's looking for Darian Leonard once more, headed towards the sideline, and he's able to tiptoe in for a 16-yard gain for the first down, first and 10 on UCF's 38. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he sees somebody going wide open across the middle, and it is Nick Hicks for a 23-yard gain, first and 10 on UCF's 15. And Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Spencer Jones, and he's able to get a respectable 4 yards, second and 6 on UCF's 11. Second and 6, UCF 11. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he sees Spencer Jones, and he is incomplete as it goes in and out of his hands. Third and 6 on UCF's 11. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Spencer Jones, and he's brushing on off the tackle on the left side, and he's able to get 8 yards in his first and goal on UCF's 3. Tommy Sullivan draws back to pass, and he escapes narrowly from a defender, and he throws it, and it is just over John Adams as it's incomplete as flags are thrown in the backfield. It is a holding on Corey Cooper of Miami. First and goal on UCF's 13. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and he is a quick wide receiver screen to Nick Hicks, and Nick Hicks is able to go for 4 yards. Second and goal on UCF's 9. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball to Matt Wilhelm, and he's able to go rush up the middle for 5 yards. Third and goal on UCF's 4. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Spencer Jones, and Spencer Jones climbs up the ladder as he jumps over the line for a 4-yard rushing touchdown. Miami 6, UCF 0. Tony Block is able to make the extra point, making it 7-0 Miami. Tony Block, he kicks the ball off to the 0-yard line, and Zach Parker is waiting for the ball, and as he receives it, and he's able to get 26 yards before being brought down. 1st and 10 on UCF's 26. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird. Cade Laird is able to find a little small opening for 6 yards. 2nd and 4 on UCF's 32. Brandon Baston drops back to pass as he finds a wide open Zachary Martin before he gets pushed out for a 20-yard gain. 1st and 10 on Miami's 48. Brandon Baston drops back to pass, and this is a quarterback draw, and he rushes up the middle and slides for a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 on Miami's 43. Brandon Baston pitches the ball off to John Johnson, and John Johnson's able to rush it for a 13-yard gain before getting pushed out of bounds. 1st and 10 on Miami's 30. Brandon Baston drops back to pass as he's looking on the opposite side of the field for Danny Crawford. Danny Crawford grabs the catch on a slant, and he's able to get yards after the catch for a 16-yard gain on 1st and 10 on Miami's 14. Brandon Baston drops back to pass as he is looking for Will Cole, and Will Cole, the ball is thrown right behind Will Cole as he's not able to come up with the ball. 2nd and 10 on Miami's 14. Brandon Baston drops back to pass, and he's looking to the left. He's scanning, and he sees his third option, and he just throws it over John Johnson as it falls incomplete. 4th and 10 on Miami's 14. They send out the kick team for a 31-yard field goal. And he lines up. Danny Tyler goes for the kick, and it is straight down the middle, and it is good for 31 yards. Miami 7, UCF 3. Danny Tyler kicks the ball up to the 10-yard line, and Mike Jones is able to grab the ball, and he's able to find a small hole, and he's able to gain an extra 20 yards before getting brought down. 1st and 10 on Miami's 30. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he's looking for Darian Leonard, and Darian Leonard is not able to bring up the ball as he drops it. 2nd and 10 on Miami's 30. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he rushes away from a defender, and he dumps it off to Matt Wilhelm for a 4-yard gain, but there's flags thrown on the play. It is a holding on Nick Flanders, offensive line of Miami. And of course, it is accepted. 2nd and 20, Miami's 20. It's Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and he just tries to dump it off to Matt Wilhelm, but he throws it to his feet. 3rd and 20 on Miami's 20. As Miami lines up for the play, and flags are thrown as a false start on Corey Cooper, and drops back down to 3rd and 25 on Miami's 15. And Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and he just dumps it to Darian Leonard on a screen, and he has a hole, and he's getting very close as he gets 10 yards, 15 yards. It gets pushed out of bounds for a 20-yard gain. It was a respectable play, but still comes up short. 4th and 5 on Miami's 35. Miami sends out the punt team. Thomas Freeman punts the ball for a quality 47 yards, and Zach Parker of UCF is there to return the punt for a 13-yard gain. It's 1st and 10 on UCF's 31. Brandon Baston drops back to pass, and it's just a nice short pass to Danny Crawford as he just falls to the ground for a 3-yard gain. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to John Johnson, and he runs off the guard, and he gets a nice 5-yard gain. 3rd and 2 on UCF's 39. Brandon Baston hands the ball to Cade Laird, and Cade Laird is able to push the pile for a 4-yard gain. It is a first down, 1st and 10 on UCS 43. Brandon Baston pitches the ball off to Zachary Martin. Zachary Martin's met instantly with defenders. That is a negative 2-yard loss. 2nd and 12 on UCS 41. And Brandon Baston draws back to pass, and it is a swing route to Zachary Martin. He's able to get 14 yards out of this, and it is a first down, 1st and 10 on Miami's 45. Brandon Baston drops back to pass as he sees Will Cole, and he's able to get a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7 on Miami's 42. Brandon Baston drops back to pass and is a swing route to Cade Laird, and he is able to get 4 yards before being brought down, 3rd and 3 on Miami's 38. And Brandon Baston drops back to pass as he sees Kevin Onyegbu, and he's not able to come up with the ball as he's hit by the corner and is not able to bring the ball in as it falls incomplete. 4th and 3 on Miami's 38. Tyler Albert punts the ball forward, 47-yard for a touchback. 1st and 10 on Miami's 20. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he fakes it to Darian Leonard, and he throws it to Jalen Hunter as he is met instantly for a 0-yard gain. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off, and Mike Wilhelm, he gets past the defensive line, and he has a little bit of room, and the ball pops out. Israel McHugh is able to recover the ball and is able to UCF. He punches the ball out and recovers it and returns it for a 1 yard. It is UCF ball, 1st and 10 on Miami's 30. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to John Johnson. John Johnson rushes for a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9 on Miami's 29. Brandon Baston drops back to pass, and he pump fakes it to Crawford, and he sees Jimmy Long down the sideline. He throws it, and it is caught and bounds for a 21-yard gain as he tiptoes and gets pushed out of bounds. 1st and goal on Miami's 8. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to John Johnson, and John Johnson is not able to find anywhere to go. 0-yard gain, 2nd and goal, Miami's 8. And Brandon Baston hands the ball off and goes straight up the middle with Cade Laird, and Cade Laird is not able to find anything either as a 0-yard gain. And that will end the first quarter. It is 3 UCF, Miami 7. And Brandon Baston hands the ball off to John Johnson, and John Johnson's able to make the first guy miss. He makes the second guy miss as he dives and he crosses the plane as a 8-yard touchdown. UCF 9, Miami 7. Danny Tyler puts up the extra point, and it is good, 10-7, UCF. Danny Tyler kicks the ball off, and it's a touchback. 1st and 10 on Miami's 25. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Matt Wilhelm, and Matt Wilhelm is able to find 9 yards. 2nd and 1 on Miami's 34. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Matt once more, and Matt is able to find an opening on the sidelines, and he gets pushed out for a 13-yard gain. 1st and 10 on Miami's 47. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he dumps it off to Matt Wilhelm for a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 on UCS 47. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and he dumps it once more to Matt Wilhelm, and he's able to find 4 yards. 1st and 10 on UCS 43. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he's looking for Jalen Langan, and it is caught, but he gets pushed out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 on UCF's 43. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he finds Spencer Jones for a 6-yard gain before getting taken down. 3rd and 4 on UCF's 37. And Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Matt Wilhelm as he makes the first guy miss, but he's still in the back of the line of scrimmage. He's met by the linebackers and the defensive line as he gets taken down for a -1 yard. 4th and 5 on UCF's 38. Thomas Freeman punts the ball off for 41 yards for a touchback. 1st and 10 on UCF's 20. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird. Cade Laird rushes for a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 on UCF's 24. Brandon Baston drops back to pass as he finds Will Cole for a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 3 on UCF's 27. Brandon Baston drops back to pass. He finds John Johnson for a 5-yard gain. 1st and 10 on UCF's 32. Brandon Baston drops back to pass. He's looking for John Johnson and is not able to complete it as he is pushed out of bounds before he gets a foot in. It is 2nd and 10 on UCF's 32. Brandon Baston drops back to pass as he's looking for Zachary Martin, and he throws it behind Zachary Martin. It is incomplete. 3rd and 10 on UCF's 32. Brandon Baston hands the ball up to Cade Laird. Cade Laird finds an opening, and he's able to rush it for 11 yards, which is definitely enough. So it's a 1st and 10 on UCF's 43. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird. Cade Laird finds a respectable 4 yards up the middle. 2nd and 6 on UCF's 47 with 7 minutes left in the half. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Zach Parker. And Zach Parker tries to bounce it out, but he's met instantly by the linebackers of Miami, and he gets taken down for a -4 yards. 3rd and 10 on UCF's 43. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Zachary Martin, and Zachary Martin's able to find a nice little crease before he gets pushed out of bounds for an 11-yard gain. 1st and 10 on Miami's 46. Brandon Baston drops back to pass, and he sees Danny Crawford, and he throws it a little bit behind Danny Crawford. He's not able to come up with the ball as he falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 on Miami's 46. And Brandon Baston drops back to pass as he dumps it off to Cade Laird, and Cade Laird is able to find 3 yards. 3rd and 7 on Miami's 43. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird, and Cade Laird is able to rush for 4 yards, but nothing more. 4th and 3 on Miami's 39. And the offense is looking at Coach Jack to see if he wants to keep the offense on, or is he going to punt the ball? What does Jack do? And it looks like he's looking at Cade Laird. Cade Laird says, "Trust me, Coach. I got this. Put the ball in my hands." And that's what he does. He sends out the offense. And 4th and 3 on Miami's 39. Brandon Baston hands the ball up to Cade Laird. And Cade Laird is met by a couple defenders in the back of the line of scrimmage, but he's still not taken down as he breaks both tackles, and he's able to find 8 yards before he rushes out of bounds. 1st and 10 on Miami's 31. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird, and Cade Laird once again finds the opening, and is able to go for 12 yards for 1st and 10 on Miami's 19. Brendan Baston hands the ball off to John Johnson. Johnson rushes for 6 yards. 2nd and 4 on Miami's 13. Brandon Baston drops back to pass. Sees Will Cole, and he tries to throw it, and it is deflected and it's incomplete. 3rd and 4 on Miami's 13. Brandon Baston drops back to pass, and he dumps it off to Cade Laird, and Cade Laird is able to find 5 yards. And for the time being, it is a 1st down, but there are flags on the play as it is Rock Castleberry lines up off sides, and is a first, and it is, of course, it's declined. 1st and goal, Miami's 8. With 3 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock for the half. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird. Cade Laird rushes for 4 yards. 2nd and goal on Miami's 4. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird, and he tries to bounce it, and in this time it does not work as it is a negative 4-yard gain and is a timeout, Central Florida. The 1st of 3. 3rd and goal on Miami's 8. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to John Johnson, and John Johnson tries to bounce it out, but he is met by the defensive line and linebackers as another negative 3-yard loss and another timeout, 2nd of 3 by Central Florida. 4th and goal on Miami's 11. They send out the kick team to pick up the field goal. Danny Tyler for a 28-yard field goal. He puts it up, and it is straight down the middle, and it is good. 13-7. UCF. Danny Tyler kicks the ball up to the 0-yard line, and Mike Jones elects to bring out the kick, and for a 17-yard gain. 1st and 10 on Miami 17. As Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and he sees somebody wide open as a corner falls down, and then he throws it, launches it, and it is to Darian Leonard for an 83-yard touchdown. 13-13. What a turn of the plate with one little botch play with the corner falling. And Tony Block puts up the extra point, and it is good. Miami leads 14-13 with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in the half. Tony Block kicks the ball for a touchback. 1st and 10 on UCF's 25. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird. Cade Laird is not able to find anything as it is a negative 3-yard loss. 2nd and 13 on UCF's 22. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to John Johnson. John Johnson's able to find a little small hole for a 6-yard gain. 3rd and 7 on UCF's 28. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Zachary Martin, and Zachary Martin is able to find 6 yards. It is 1st and 1 on UCF's 34 with 1 minute and 6 seconds left in the half. And Jack sends out the punt team. And Tyler Albert punts the ball for 57 yards. What a boomer. Mike Jones returns it for a 2-yard gain. 1st and 10 on Miami's 11 with 57 seconds left on the clock. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Matt Wilhelm. Matt Wilhelm is able to find 11 yards before being brought down, and is a timeout. Miami, 1st of 3. 1st and 10, Miami's 22. He drops back to pass as he sees Darian Leonard and for an 11-yard gain. And there's flags on the play as is a holding on Joseph Finn. Bring it back. First and 20 on Miami's 12. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Matt Wilhelm. Matt Wilhelm rushes for 6 yards and is a timeout from Miami. 2-3, second and 14. Miami's 18. 41 seconds left until the second half. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and he throws it to Jalen Linghan, who had no chance of catching the ball, and Tommy Sullivan gets rocked after the play as flags are thrown, and this will be an obvious roughing the pass on Daryl Lewis, as it of course it accepted. First and 10 on Miami's 33. With 38 seconds left, Tommy Sullivan hands the ball to Matt Wilhelm, and Matt is able to find 5 yards. Miami takes the last timeout. Second and 5 on Miami's 38 with 36 seconds left. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he sees Jalen Langan, and it is thrown over Jalen. And for an incomplete 3rd and 5 on Miami's 38. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he throws a screen to Spencer Jones for a 20-yard gain. First and 10 on UCF's 42. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass. He sees nobody open. He takes the opportunity to rush for 5 yards and goes out of bounds. Second and 5 on UCF's 37. With 14 seconds left, Tommy Sullivan hands the ball to Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones gets a negative 1 yard gain. 3rd and 6 on UCF's 38. As time is ticking down, they're rushing the kicking team to the field to attempt a 55-yard field goal. Tony Block is in the backfield to attempt to kick, and it takes 3, 2, and the ball is snapped. The ball is in the air as time expires, and it is good. A 55-yard field goal by Tony Block as time expires to increase the lead to 13-17. Miami, and that will be the first half. This game of UCF versus Miami is sponsored by Kroger brand chocolate milk, the best chocolate milk you can ever get. And as we look for the other game days scores, we go to let me see here. Purdue and Buffalo. Oh shit, I just had it. At halftime, it is a tied game, and the Purdue and Buffalo game tied at 6. Purdue had a touchdown in the first, but missed the extra point, and Buffalo had a field goal in each quarter of the first and the second. And then we go to UCLA and Boston College. And at halftime, it is UCLA 14, Boston College 10. Boston College in the first quarter had a touchdown, and then followed by a second quarter touchdown by UCLA and a field goal by Boston College, and then another touchdown by Walter Russ. And then we go to Bama and USC. And at halftime for the Bama USC game, it is USC 13, Bama 0. USC in the first half had a field goal, followed by a touchdown, but followed by a field goal. And then we go to Ohio State and Wake Forest. And then at halftime, Ohio State is up 17-3. Got a touchdown, Ohio State touchdown, field goal, and then Wake Forest field goal, followed by another Ohio State touchdown. And then last one is Vanderbilt and Washington. Well, Washington State. Let me see here. And then at halftime, it is Washington State 7, Vanderbilt 3. You have an early Vanderbilt field goal followed by a second quarter Washington State touchdown. All right, as we get back into the game. And as the teams trot out back to the field, Miami is set back to receive the kick. Tony Block of UCF kicks the ball off to the 0-yard line as Tony Block kicks the ball off for a touchback. 1st and 10 on UCF's 25. Brandon Baston. Oh, yeah, sorry, not Miami getting off. Miami's kicking the ball. My fault. Switch teams mid-half, the trade. All right, yeah. Tony Block of Miami kicks the ball off to the 0-yard line, and Zach Parker of UCF returns the ball for a 20-yard gain. Sorry. No, that's the wrong thing. I'm reading this completely wrong. Touchback, 1st and 10, UCF's 25. Brendan Baston rushes the ball for a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 on UCF's 30. Brendan Baston drops back to pass as he's looking for Zachary Martin, and Zachary Martin completely just drops the pass as it hits him in the numbers. It literally hits him in the chest and it bounces off the pads. It is third and it falls incomplete. 3rd and 5 on UCF's 30. Brendan Baston drops back to pass as he finds the liability of Danny Crawford for the 8-yard gain. 1st and 10 on UCF's 38. And Brandon Baston hands the ball off to John Johnson, and John Johnson's not able to find anything as a negative 1-yard gain. 2nd and 11 on UCF's 37. Brandon Baston drops back to pass and he gives it back to John Johnson, and John Johnson's able to find up the middle for a 3-yard gain. And John Johnson is slow to get up as he tries to trot back to the huddle, and he just kind of kneels down. And the training staff comes out to take a look at him as he's able to walk off the field. We might have an update for him later. So the running back, John Johnson, is taken out of the game. 3rd and 8 on UCF's 40. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird, and Cade Laird is not able to find anything as it is a negative 2-yard gain. 4th and 10 on UCF's 38. Tyler Albert punts the ball for 46 yards. Mike Jones of Miami returns the punt for 4 yards. 1st and 10 on Miami's 20. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Matt Wilhelm. Matt Wilhelm rushes for 2 yards. 2nd and 8, Miami's 22. Tommy Sullivan. He drops back to pass. He finds Darian Leonard, and he's able to get to 9 yards before being brought down. 1st and 10 on Miami's 31. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Spencer Jones as he's slightly patient as he pushes forward for a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 on Miami's 34. As Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, Tommy Sullivan completes the pass to Nick Hicks for a 6-yard gain. 3rd and 1 on Miami's 40. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball back off to Spencer Jones, and Spencer Jones is able to find 6 yards. 1st and 10 on Miami's 46. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Matt Wilhelm. Matt Wilhelm rushes for 4 yards. 2nd and 6 on the 50-yard line. Tommy Sullivan draws back to pass. He's looking for the tight end Nick Hicks, and Nick Hicks brings it in for a 13-yard gain before running over the safety for a 13-yard gain. 1st and 10 on UCF's 37. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Matt Wilhelm on a counter, and he's able to find 5 yards, but there is a flag on the play. That is a chop block on Joseph Finn, his 2nd penalty of the night. 1st and 25 on Miami's 48. Tommy Sullivan is able to have a quarterback counter for a 6-yard gain before he slides down. 2nd and 19 on UCS 46. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and he throws it towards Nick Hicks, and it is deflected by the defender as it falls to the ground incomplete. 3rd and 19 on UCF's 46. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he throws it towards Spencer Jones, and there were like two offensive linemen that are on the ground as flags are thrown, but it's an incomplete pass to Spencer Jones. It's a defensive holding on UCF of Daryl Lewis. So it is an automatic 1st down. And if that didn't happen, if Daryl Lewis didn't hold, it would have been practically a punting situation. But now it's a 1st and 10 on UCF's 41. Tommy Sullivan hands the ball off to Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones is able to find 5 yards. 2nd and 5, UCF's 36. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass. He's looking for Jalen Langan, and Langan is not able to bring it in as his falls incomplete. 3rd and 5 on UCF's 36. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass. He looks over to the other tight end, Nick Hicks, for a 5-yard gain. And to bring out the chains, and where they spot the ball, it is an obvious good enough for 1st down. 1st and 10 on UCF's 31. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass and looking for Nick Hicks as the ball is thrown behind Nick Hicks. Is incomplete. 2nd and 10 on UCF's 31. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass and he finds Darian Leonard, and he just falls to the ground for a 5-yard gain. Tommy Sullivan drops for 3rd and 5 on UCF's 26. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and Tommy Sullivan is able to find Jalen Langan for an 18-yard gain as he sneaks behind the linebackers for a 1st and goal on UCF's 8. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he's looking left, and he's staring down Jalen Langan, and he throws out to the opposite side of the field to Darian Leonard for an 8-yard wide open touchdown. 13-23. As there looks to be a UCF player on the ground, as it is Austin Populus who is on the ground and he's getting help carried off the field. Tony Block puts up the extra point, and it is good. (13-24) Miami, with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third quarter. Enough time for UCF to make a comeback. Tony Block kicks the ball off for a touchback. 1st and 10 on UCF's 25. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Greedy Hughes. Greedy Hughes is not able to find anything for a -2 yards. And Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird. Cade Laird rushes for 9 yards. 3rd and 3 on UCF's 32. And Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Greedy Hughes once more, and Greedy Hughes is able to find 4 yards for the 1st and 10 on UCF's 36. And Brandon Baston drops back to pass, and he receives pressure from both sides of the defensive ends, and it is brought down for a 10-yard sack by Dalton Brown of Miami. And that ends the third quarter. 2nd and 20, UCF's 26. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird. Cade Laird is able to find a hole, and he goes for 9 yards. 3rd and 11 on UCF's 35. And Jack sends out Greedy Hughes and takes out Cade Laird. And Brandon Baston hands the ball to Greedy Hughes. Greedy Hughes rushes for 0 yards. 4th and 11 on UCF's 35. Give me 1 second. I just got to do something. Hey, what is this? What is this? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Stupid. Already. Fourth and 11, UCF's 35. Tyler Albert punts the ball. Not a great punt for 37 yards. Mike Jones returns the punt for 0 yards. 1st and 10, Miami's 28. Guess that was a quality punt. Tommy Sullivan rushes for a 1-yard gain, and is a Miami timeout. 2nd and 9. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he finds Jalen Langan for a wide open 26 yards before getting pushed out. 1st and 10 on UCS 45. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass, and Tommy Sullivan sees Darian Leonard for a 4-yard gain before getting taken down. 2nd and 6 on UCS 41 as Miami lines up, and flags are thrown And it is a false start on Dante Fuller. Bring it back. 2nd and 11, UCF's 46. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he's trying to find Matt Wilhelm, and Matt Wilhelm is blown up by UCF. It is an incomplete pass. 3rd and 11 on UCF's 46. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he finds Darian Leonard, and Darian Leonard gets past the 5 yards. Then he needs 11, and he is right there. He gets taken down right by these sticks as they bring out the sticks for the measurement. And as they pull out the chains to tighten the chains, it is short. He is short by a yard. 4th and 1. 4th and 1. UCF's 36. And Miami sends out the offense to see what they can do. Tommy Sullivan drops back to pass as he sees Spencer Jones for a dump play for an easy 1-yard gain, and then he throws it, and it gets blown up by the defensive line as it gets tipped and incomplete. UCF comes up big for a turnover on downs. 1st and 10 on UCF's 36 with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left. Brendan Baston hands the ball off to Jimmy Long. Jimmy Long tries to bounce it out for a negative 3 yards. 2nd and 13, UCF's 33. Brandon Baston hands the ball off to Cade Laird. Cade Laird is able to find 3 yards. 3rd and 10 on UCF's 36. Brandon drops back to pass, and it's a free play as Brandon Baston flings it downfield towards Danny Crawford. And Danny Crawford jumps up, and it falls incomplete as Danny Crawford is not able to bring it in. But it looks like on the defense, offsides on Ken Stengel as he jumps. Of course, the penalty is accepted. 3rd and 5 on UCF's 41. Alrighty, and it looks like Greedy Hughes gets sent out for the play, and Brandon Baston hands the ball to Greedy Hughes, and it's a pitch play, and Greedy Hughes turns up the field and is met instantly and hit. Oh my goodness, he got popped as the ball falls out. It is a fumble on the play. Greedy Hughes fumbles the ball, and the defensive lineman who's lined up offsides recovers it. It's Ken Stengel comes up with the ball. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where I will be calling the game, as there's 10 minutes left in the game. Miami makes a field goal, making it 27-13. And Cade Laird, with 1 minute left in the game, scores a touchdown, making it 20-27, and that'll be the ball game. 20-27, Miami Hurricanes wins.